Call to order this meeting of the Plain Township Board of Trustees for Tuesday, November 23rd. Everybody have stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before us, we have our agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections by fellow board members or department heads at this time? Seeing none, the agenda will stand as presented. First item on the agenda, unfinished business, opioid issues.
Thank you. Yes, item number 1 is an opioid settlement with Janssen Johnson & Johnson, which will bring additional funding to Plain Township. This is from the One Ohio agreement. What they need us to do is go to the website there, register, and then appoint the point of contact. And I've talked this over with Tom Wolf, since it does involve settlement monies. He will be the point person to go on there and register for the township. And then there is also a link for inquiries, and then there's going to be a virtual town hall meeting with National Council on Tuesday, November 23rd at 1 p.m. And it shows you the meeting ID and passcode to join that, and then any questions, who to contact that too.
Thank you.
And that's the end of unfinished.
New business?
Yes, we have a resolution to offer a current charging rate of $0 through December 31st, 2021 at our EV charging station located at 2600 Easton Street Northeast to promote the adoption of sustainable energy in Plain Township.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Eric, do you just want to touch real quick on what this is, the culmination?
So the charging stations are completed, they've passed their electrical inspections. The only thing we're waiting on now is for AEP to make their connection to the pole and drop the meter in place, so then they'll be live. One of the concepts that we had was kind of spurring business at the Opa Plaza was one of the reasons that we placed these here. Just to kind of have an introductory rate. We're not expecting a lot of significant use, but if you have somebody in out of town, you know, maybe you're a new EV owner and you haven't had an electrician out to your home, we'll have a place for them to be able to charge out here. We will have to have some discussion long-term about what our rate is going to be set at, but that's all something that we can adjust on the fly. But we did want to, you know, kind of introduce the community to, you know, to the charging stations and have a period of free charging.
Outside of pending approval, how do we plan on getting the word out? I mean, social media, website, press. I think the press released it.
Yeah, and in our newsletter too. We had discussed, and I think it was supposed to actually be through the first quarter, didn't we say? Maybe
Yeah, I'm not sure that resolution was
we actually
correct on the
They
date.
saw nothing through first quarter.
We can obviously pick back up
Yeah, we
on
can
that.
always pick it up, and then we're just concerned of when we're actually going to have the company out here to connect it, and then be able to offer this. But I guess we can monitor it, and then if we're in December and they're still haven't been out here, then we can bring it back to the board. But we'll also put it in the newsletter to promote it. But yeah, we'll work on a press release and.
Yeah, we had a couple of just delays, just getting the componentry, just like everything else.
Yeah. We don't want to release it though until you actually can pull up and use it.
Yeah, you know, AEP would be expected to turn on a new service in a reasonable period of time. So I would think that they're going to probably turn them on shortly after the holiday. They just have to make a connection into the pole. We're just at their mercy at this particular point in time.
Well, thanks for your efforts on it. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that's the end of new business.
Okay, it takes us to fiscal officer's report. Mr. Wolf.
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a resolution to authorize payment of pending warrants in the amount of $81,434.26.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $250,000.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Saleh?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4A and B are the bank reconciliations for May and June.
Okay.
Fiscal Officer number 5 is the investment report for the month of October.
Okay.
Fiscal Officer number 6 is a resolution to authorize the following transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 7 is a liquor license permit for 38933981 Everhard LLC, located at 3939 Everhard Road Northwest, Canton, Ohio 44709.
So this is the venue, that's the venue, but
What, yeah.
The food store.
Yeah,
Earth Fair.
Earth Fair,
Okay,
it's for
okay.
Earth Fair, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had a liquor license at one point, but then they closed and they gave that liquor license up, so now that's what this is for. They had to reapply.
No concerns by the sheriff.
No.
All right, allow it to roll.
Okay, and that concludes the Fiscal Officer report.
Okay, thank you. It's gonna take us to the administrator.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution to authorize purchase and payment to Vigilant Solutions for 2 Camera Reaper HD mobile systems, including the extended warranty not to exceed $26,910 from our Police Fund 09A07, and to authorize payment to Hall Public Safety Uplifters for the security of the 2 Camera Reaper systems in an amount not to exceed $840 from the same fund.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment to Kurtz Brothers for hauling of yard waste in an amount not to exceed $2,790 to be paid from Fund 01A26Y.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Item number 3 is a resolution to extend the yard waste site operations through Monday, December 13th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Number 4 is a resolution to authorize membership into Clout for the 2022 year, to authorize payment of $200 from Fund 01A26E.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And then the last item is a resolution to amend Resolution 19-554, which should read records retention policy, adding social media policy.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion,
This just states that we will maintain our social media as transitory and duplicate records. That's what those posts are, and it will remain until the host no longer supports it. So, for instance, Facebook, we keep everything, but if Facebook someday says, you know what, we're gonna get rid of these records from the year 2020, 10 years down the road, then we're off the hook for public records requests. So it reads until the host no longer keeps those records.
further discussion, roll call.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that ends the administrative report.
Takes the fire department, chief.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize reimbursement to Ron DiFrancesco for $304 for healthcare membership according to Provision 37 of the collective bargaining agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment of gasoline, oil, diesel fuel, and miscellaneous from McIntosh Oil not to exceed $10,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Okay, item number 3 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment for Paratech rigid bases from Atlantic Emergency Solutions, the amount not to exceed $2,700 to be taken from Fund 10A08.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Thank you, that concludes fire department.
Okay, it's gonna take us to the road, and I believe this topic's getting turned over to JP.
Thank you. First item on for roads. Be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to approve and submit the attached letter of intent with MTech Company for the 2023 new build Peterbilt Vector truck at state bidding price to be purchased with the ARP funding and allowed by the attached legal opinion. Put that packet there in front of you guys.
I'll actually make a motion so we can get it to discussion. Yeah, I'll second it for discussion. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys have the packet in front of you there. Kind of highlights some of the highlight build points on it, some of the references. What this is he has 3 Peterbilt trucks left for this year. After this year, because of the supply chain, he's going to Western Star with no build date. With this one, he would guarantee it's a stock truck now. We could build it to our specs. I do have a quote there, but we would drill out the details by March, and he would guarantee a delivery date late summer or by September, so early fall. This just kind of gets us to reserve that truck and then move forward.
I appreciate the packet that you put together here.
Thank you.
And he understands it's being, let's say it would come early, that we're paying with ARP funding, so when that's received, we can't
Correct.
pay until then.
Yeah, I
Okay.
explained all that to Brian, the owner of Ventech, who's been down a couple times, and he's totally aware. There's a lot of other municipalities kind of in the same spot, so he's well aware of the situation as far as when the funding comes in and when it's available, so. No money up front, yeah.
What did we pay for the last one? I'm just curious from like a percentage increase.
325,000. It's no way.
And he had mentioned that after the first of the year, minimal 20 to 25,000 increase due to the supply and the steel. So he's able to hold those prices now, but after the first year, at a minimum 20 to 25,000 on that price
So
there.
it's already 33% increase without the forthcoming increase.
Yeah, but just to note there, Scott, on that, the tank is stainless steel on this one. Our previous factor does not have that. We've had to have some mechanic work as far as fabrication done to that.
That was just even within the last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to do it twice.
That's what I thought.
So and that comes with a 10-year warranty on that tank, rusting, corroding, and.
I said this will last a lot
Yeah.
longer being steel.
And our current Vector is a 2008. Just some quick facts for you. 2020, we did 56,630 feet of ditch line, which equates to about 10.7 miles. Flushed and cleaned 4,577 feet, which is almost a mile. And then we cleaned out 219 catch basins. That was just in 2020. So it's certainly a truck that we utilize almost every day. One other unique feature to this, our current Vector now, say we have a flooding issue, the pipe, you have to suck the water as you get down to the problem. This one, you can drop that tube straight down, say there's a basketball on a culvert, drop it down, and it'll suck underwater.
Oh,
So,
wow. No, it's so
so-
much nicer.
So what's the plans with the old unit? Is that a gov deals,
Yeah,
or is it a trade?
Yeah, and it's still in great shape. It's just getting to the age where we usually clean those out. So we've had some transmission work done on it. It was down for 3 months here because of the supply chain and staffing issues at our vendor. So yeah, we would definitely look at putting that on gov deals. you know, with a pretty decent minimum.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Harless,
Yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes.
Yes.
Thank you. That concludes our
Thank you, Jim.
Takes us to zoning. Lisa, are you handling
Yep, I
that?
am. For zoning, I have resolutions A through B for abatements.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Mrs. Harless.
Yes.
Zoning takes us to parks. Bob?
Thanks. Before you is a resolution to increase shelter rentals for non-residents from $15 an hour to $30 an hour plus the administrative fee of $10 effective January 1, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Harless,
Yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 2 is a resolution to adopt and approve the new attached rate increase for non-resident field usage for indoor and outdoor fields for non-residents.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Harless,
Yes.
Mr. Sabo.
Yes.
Mr. Hawes.
Yep.
Thanks. That concludes part.
Thank you. Nothing on our law director, nothing on our communications. Public speaks, anybody in the audience? Okay, concerns of trustees? Okay. Concerns of the fiscal officer?
No concerns.
Takes us to the approval of the minutes for November 9th, 2021, and I will so move.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Mrs. Harless,
Yes.
Mr. Sabo.
Yes. We do have a need for executive session, so be hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn the executive session at 6:16 p.m. from this regular meeting is authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose of consideration of 1B, employment of a public employer official. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes,
Yes.
Mr. Sabo,
Yes.
Mrs. Harless.
Yes.